The moment I pushed open my front door, I knew someone had been there. Not from the mess, but from the silence. It was too quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. I dropped my keys on the floor. They clattered against the hardwood, and that sound echoed. It echoed because the rug was gone. I flipped the light switch, and for a second, my brain couldn't process what my eyes were seeing. The couch, gone. The TV, gone. I walked into the kitchen like I was in a dream, my feet sticking to the floor where the fridge used to be. The drawers were pulled out, hanging open like empty mouths. No spoons, no plates. I slid the last drawer open, the one where I keep the silverware. Empty. Not a single fork left. That's when I saw it, a piece of notebook paper taped to the wall, fluttering gently from the breeze of the ceiling fan. I walked over, my hand reaching out, and I read the words written in blue ink, handwriting I'd know anywhere, my brother's handwriting. "We need it more than you do. Thanks, Patrick." Patrick. That was his middle name, the name we used when we were kids and he wanted to feel cool. I stared at that note until the letters started to blur. And then something strange happened. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. My whole body went cold and still, and one single thought rose up from somewhere deep inside me. All right then, let's begin. My name is Amanda, and for as long as I can remember, I believed that being a good person meant giving until there was nothing left of yourself to give. I live in Kansas City, where the summers are sticky and the winters bite right through your coat. I've worked at the same insurance office for 19 years. People there call me reliable. They say I'm the one who stays late to finish the reports that Linda from accounting always leaves half done. They don't know why I do that. And honestly, before you hear the rest of this story, hit that like button and subscribe to Anonymous Confessions. Trust me, you're going to want to hear how this ends. They don't know that I've spent my entire adult life cleaning up after other people, fixing what they broke, carrying what they dropped. It started when I was 25. My parents died on a Tuesday night in October. The roads were slick, the kind of rain that comes down sideways and turns stop signs into suggestions. A semi-truck hydroplaned into their lane. I got the call at 3 a.m. I remember standing in my kitchen in my bare feet, the linoleum cold against my toes, listening to a social worker tell me that my little brother Ryan was now an orphan. He was 15, still a kid with acne and a backpack full of overdue homework. At the funeral, I sat in the front row wearing a black dress that was too tight in the shoulders, listening to our relatives whisper behind me, "Someone's gotta take the boy. We've got 3 of our own, can't afford another mouth. Maybe foster care, just until he's 18. I remember the pastor droning on about eternal rest, and I just stood up right in the middle of his sentence. My voice came out shaky but clear. "He's coming with me." And that was that. I rented a 2-bedroom apartment with carpet that smelled like the previous tenant's cat and windows that whistled when the wind blew. By day, I filed paperwork at the insurance office. By night, I stocked shelves at a grocery store, the smell of bleach and bananas clinging to my clothes. Ryan got the bedroom with the bigger closet. I slept on a pull-out couch that left metal bars pressed into my back every morning. I made sure his shoes were new, even when mine had holes in the soles that let rain soak through my socks. On his 16th birthday, I worked a double shift, then came home at midnight and baked a cake from a box mix because I couldn't afford the one at the bakery. I frosted it with a plastic knife and stuck 16 candles in it. And when I woke him up to sing, he hugged me and said, "You're the best sister ever." I held on to that hug for years. Time moved the way it does when you're too tired to notice. I saved for his college tuition. I skipped vacations. I skipped buying myself lunch so I could send him spending money. The day I drove him to campus, he stood on the dorm steps with a duffel bag over his shoulder, all energy and promise. He waved at me. I sat in the car afterward and cried, not from sadness, from relief. I told myself I'd done it. He was going to be okay. But Ryan never really grew up. He called every month, sometimes crying, sometimes angry. Rent was due. His books cost too much. His car broke down. I sent money every time. Never hesitated. After he graduated, when he got his first real job, I paid the deposit for his apartment. Then he met Brittany. She was bubbly at first, the kind of girl who laughs too loud and touches your arm when she talks. She complimented my cooking, said I was the sister she never had. They dated for 5 years. When he proposed, he called me, voice cracking. "We can't afford the wedding we want." I told him not to worry. I'd handle it. $20,000 later, he had fairy lights and a live band and a cake that cost more than my first car. I watched them dance and told myself Mom and Dad would be proud. A few months after that, I gave them $30,000 for a down payment on a house. "It's an investment," I said, half to convince myself. He promised to pay me back someday. Someday never came. Then the little things started. Brittany would come over, eyes scanning my apartment. "Oh my gosh, that bag is gorgeous. Can I borrow it?" Those shoes would be perfect for date night. We wore the same size, so it was easy. I didn't mind at first, but she never brought anything back. My closet started looking empty. My patience, too. I'd text her about a blouse, and she'd reply, "I think I left it at my mom's. I'll grab it next time." Next time, she'd show up empty-handed and start eyeing something else. One afternoon, I stopped her before she could ask, "You still have my blue jacket and the beige purse and that sweater from last month? I'd like them back." Her smile froze on her face like ice forming on a puddle. "Wow," she said, "you really keep track, huh? Don't be so greedy." Ryan walked in right then. "What's going on?" "Nothing," Brittany said. "Your sister's upset because I borrowed a couple of things." He looked at me, and I'll never forget the expression on his face. Annoyance, like I was causing a problem. "Amanda, come on. You've got plenty of clothes. Don't make it a big deal." That line cut deeper than he'll ever know. I swallowed whatever I wanted to say and stepped aside. I just wanted peace. This is the kind of story that hits different when you've been through it yourself, right? If you're relating to this at all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for anonymous confessions and drop a comment. Have you ever been taken advantage of by someone you loved? I want to hear your story. After that, they stopped visiting. Weeks turned into months. When I finally reached out, Ryan replied with one sentence, "We're fine, just busy." Busy, right. I poured myself into work. By summer, I'd saved enough to finally renovate my house, the first real thing I'd ever done just for me. I ordered new furniture, new appliances, everything matching and bright. The house smelled like fresh paint and wood polish. For once, every single thing in that space was mine, bought with money I earned with no guilt attached. When the renovation finished, I called Ryan to offer me my old furniture. "Hey, most of it's still in great condition. You and Brittany could use it for the new place." Silence on the line. Then a muffled voice in the background. I heard Brittany scoff. "Tell her we don't want her junk." Ryan came back on. "Sorry, Amanda, we've got other plans." I smiled into the phone. "Of course, no problem." After we hung up, I sat in my spotless living room, light slanting through the windows. I should have felt proud. Instead, there was this strange ache in my chest. For years, I'd been the giver, the carrier, the one who made sure everyone else was okay. Now, with no one left to take care of, I wasn't sure who I was. I had no idea that within a week, that piece would be stolen too. It happened on a Thursday. I'd worked late finishing reports. The sky was that bruised purple color that comes before a storm. When I pulled into my driveway, the porch light was on. I never leave it on. My stomach tightened. The lock was bent, metal twisted like someone had used a crowbar. I pushed the door open. Silence, but not peaceful silence. Wrong silence. My footsteps echoed on bare floors. The walls looked wider. The air felt colder. My couch, gone. My refrigerator, gone. Even the framed photos of Mom and Dad, gone. Only faint marks on the wall showed they'd ever been there. In the kitchen, drawers gaped open, empty. I slid one out. No forks. Not one. That's when the thing broke something inside me. Not the big stuff. The forks. Such a small, stupid detail. Then I saw it. A piece of notebook paper taped to the wall, fluttering gently from the breeze of the ceiling fan. I walked over, my hand reaching out, and I read the words written in blue ink, handwriting I'd know anywhere. My brother's handwriting. "We need it more than you do. Thanks, Patrick." Patrick. That was his middle name, the name we used when we were kids and he wanted to feel cool. I stared at that note until the letters started to blur. And then something strange happened. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. My whole body went cold and still. I didn't cry. Not this time. A knock at the door. Mrs. Henderson from across the street, holding her phone. "Honey, I saw them earlier," she said, voice trembling. "A truck backed up to your house. Your brother driving. I thought you'd told him to take the furniture." I forced myself to breathe. "You didn't do anything wrong." She hesitated. "I have a camera facing your driveway. It caught everything. Do you want the footage?" "Yes," I said, calm and steady. "Please." After she left, I sat on the bare floor and turned the note over in my hands. My whole world had just been stripped clean by the boy I raised like my own son. And somehow, under the shock, one clear thought formed. They took everything I had. Now I'll take back everything they think I owe them. 3 days passed. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, I scrolled through Brittany's social media. Photos of her living room, my couch, my TV, my table. Caption read, "Finally feeling settled." Day 3, I waited. Nothing again. On the 4th morning, I called David, my attorney. "They've made their choice," I said. That afternoon, 2 police cars pulled up to Ryan's driveway. I sat in my car across the street, watching from behind sunglasses. Brittany ran out in her robe, screaming, "You can't do this. This is family." Ryan stood there, stunned, like he couldn't believe I'd actually go through with it. I watched them argue with the officers, then get into the cruiser for questioning. An hour later, my phone rang. David's name. I answered. His voice cracked. "Amanda, what did you do? The police are here. They're saying we stole from you." "You did," I said evenly. "You had 3 days. Come on, sis. We were going to return it." "After remodeling your kitchen?" I asked. "I saw the photos." "Ryan." He fell silent. Then Brittany's voice came through, shrill and angry. "You think this makes you the victim? You have money, we don't. We just needed help." "You broke into my house," I said. "That's not help." "Don't be dramatic," she snapped. "We borrowed. You'll get everything back." "Good," I replied. "The police will make sure of it." And I hung up. At the station, they sat at a small table, both pale, eyes red. The officer looked from them to me. "They're asking if you'll consider dropping the charges." Ryan stood up. "Please, Amanda, we made a mistake. We'll bring it all back today." I looked at him, this man I'd carried through grief, who I'd fed and clothed and believed in. "No," I said quietly. "You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice." Brittany started crying. "You're ruining our lives." "You did that yourselves," I said, voice steady. "Actions have consequences." The video from Mrs. Henderson's camera became the centerpiece of the case. Ryan unlocking my door, loading the truck, smiling as he carried out boxes. Brittany directing him from the porch, her phone out, filming like it was a home project. At the trial, they sat beside their lawyer, hands clasped like scared children. The prosecutor laid out every piece of evidence, photos, receipts, bank transfers, and that note. When the note appeared on the screen, the courtroom went silent. "We need it more than you do. Thanks, Patrick." The judge leaned forward. "This is theft.
Not misunderstanding, not family dispute. Theft. He sentenced them both to probation, fined them $1,500 each, and ordered them to return everything, plus pay for damages. The broken lock, the scratched floors. Brittany sobbed. Ryan stared at the table, eyes glassy. I didn't smile. I just felt something unclench inside me. After court, I met with David. "Everything's resolved," he said. I opened the folder, then looked up. "Not quite. I want to change my will." He raised an eyebrow. "I've left everything to Ryan since my parents died. I want to remove him completely." David nodded slowly. "Who should inherit?" "Charity. Set up a trust fund." "I'll draft it today. Do you want him notified?" "Yes," I said. "Send him the notice personally." 2 days later, Ryan showed up, pounding on my door. The chain lock rattled. I peered through the peephole. "Amanda," he yelled, "you changed your will? Are you serious?" I opened the door just enough for the chain to hold. "Yes." "You're my only family. Everything should go to me." "You stole from me, Ryan. Why would I leave you anything?" He gestured wildly. "We apologized." "No," I said. "You cried because you got caught." Brittany stepped forward, face blotchy. "I'm pregnant. We're having a baby. Don't you care about your niece?" "Congratulations," I said flatly. "But that doesn't change what you did." "You're heartless," she spat. "We needed help." "I helped," I snapped, voice rising. "For 17 years. Your clothes, your food, your car, your wedding, your house. I gave you everything, and you broke into my home and took what little was left. You call that family?" Ryan's face twisted. "You were supposed to take care of me. That's your job." "My job ended when you turned 18. Everything after that was love, and you used it like a credit card with no limit." He glared. "Change it back." "No." Brittany's voice turned desperate. "We're broke, Amanda. Please." "I'm done," I said quietly. "Don't come back here again. If you do, I'll get a restraining order." They stood there stunned. Then Ryan muttered, "You'll regret this," and pulled her away. When their car disappeared, I closed the door and leaned against it. The silence felt different this time. Not empty. Safe. 2 weeks later, the world was quiet again. Police paperwork done, court fees paid, Ryan's number blocked. I hadn't realized how peaceful silence could be until I stopped hearing my phone buzz with his name. Then one afternoon, another knock. Ryan and Brittany again. I opened the door halfway, chains still locked. Brittany's eyes were swollen. "Please," she said, voice cracking. "We've lost everything. We're sorry. We just want to make things right." Behind her, Ryan stood stiff, jaw clenched. I didn't raise my voice. "You already had the chance to make things right. Remember the 3 days?" Brittany wiped her face. "We're having the baby soon. It's a girl. She deserves a family." Something inside me softened for a heartbeat, then hardened again. "She'll have her parents. That's enough." Ryan finally spoke, quieter than I'd ever heard him. "I don't expect you to forgive us, but you're all we have left." I looked at him for a long moment. "And that's exactly why I can't do it again." I closed the door slowly. Their voices faded down the walkway, swallowed by the wind. If this story hit home for you, if you've ever had to choose yourself over family, I want you to do something. Hit that like button, subscribe to Anonymous Confessions, and leave a comment. Tell me your story, because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. A month later, I was standing barefoot on a beach in Maui, the wind warm against my skin. The ocean stretched out like glass, endless and blue. I hadn't taken a real vacation since my parents died. Now I finally had nothing holding me back. I watched the waves slide over the sand and thought about that empty house, the broken lock, the note taped to my wall. For years I'd mistaken sacrifice for love, guilt for loyalty. It took losing everything to understand that family isn't blood, it's respect. I smiled, letting the salt air sting my eyes. For the first time, it didn't hurt. It felt like freedom. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I whispered, 3 days, that's all it took to see the truth. Then I turned away from the water and walked toward the lights of the resort, leaving every trace of them behind. And honestly, that's where it all ended.